Tell me when.
Okay, we're rolling.
All right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This, I believe, was our fourth broadcast. It's Monday, October 11th, and once again, it's the Greenwich Stanford Tea Party Patriots, with a little help from Yankee.news, spreading the word about certain events that have been going on that we should know more about. So the first thing I want to talk about is the vaccine pushback. Okay, so we've had Biden forcing these mandates. Everybody's been jumping up and down and upsetting people's lives. And now, after about, 3 weeks, we're beginning to see some signs that people are beginning to push back. The first thing I wanted to bring up, because I think this is a particularly good legal strategy for those who want to fight it, is a letter that was put out by a lawyer. So here it is, like this. Okay, and what it says here is the secret is not to refuse the jab and not to accept it either. So I'll just read a couple quick passages from this. We'll have the link up for this. So, from a lawyer, if you're being forced to vax in order to keep your job, here is a great way to handle it. Conditional acceptance. The secret is not to refuse it. And so, quote, I write with regard to the matter of potential COVID vaccine and my desire to be fully informed and appraised of all facts before going ahead. I'd be most grateful if you could please provide the following information in accordance with statutory legal requirements. So I'm just going to read a few of the questions. There's, let's see here, there's, I guess, 8 of them, a couple other things. Okay. So, can you please advise the approved legal status of any vaccine and if it is experimental? 2, can you please provide details and assurances that the vaccine has been fully, independently, and rigorously tested against control groups and the subsequent outcome of those tests? Can you please advise the entire list of contents of the vaccine I am to receive and if there are any that are toxic to the body? Okay, so those are examples of the questions. And then at the last part, see here, you confirm in writing that I will suffer no harm. I like that one. And following acceptance of this, the offer must be signed by a fully qualified doctor who will take full legal and financial responsibility for any injuries occurring to myself and from any interactions by authorized personnel regarding those procedures. Okay, so so that gives you a sense of the tenor of this. We've shared it with our lawyer, John. He likes it. He said he'd been thinking along similar lines. So I think this may be a very important way to go. Now, parenthetically, I just want to add also, I discovered a group called Organized CT. I've been hunting for these guys for the longest time. So it turns out they have a Telegram group. And some of them have gotten together and put together what is called a writ of mandamus. My understanding of that term means show your hand, show what you're really thinking. And they have demanded the governor in this writ of mandamus to explain himself with respect to mask mandates primarily, but also the vaccine mandate. So it was some small group. I don't know much about them, but if you look for Organized CT on Telegram, you'll find them. And it shows a little clip of them standing there after they had filed this writ of mandamus, which was a few days ago. So there's that part. Now, let me go back here to the other thing is in the news about the vax pushback. It is surprising how many groups are not folding. I think the most notable, we were very worried about the military. Well, it turns out hundreds of thousands of soldiers and sailors are saying, no way, Jose. They're holding their ground. So I don't know where it goes from here, but if they're going to be dishonorably just discharged, I don't see that going well. So there's them. As we may know, the airlines, in particular American Airlines, a number of people.
Southwest.
Sorry?
Southwest.
Southwest as well? Okay. A number of people now are not working there anymore, and they are short-handed. The Seattle Police Department may lose 40% of its police force to people who refuse to get vaccinated. The other curious thing is in Seattle they have the ferry services to the islands, and a lot of those people are not going to get vaccinated. So now ferry services are impaired. So it's, and I think there was one other. See that? Yeah, those are the big ones, and I'm sure there are others that we haven't heard about yet. Plus, earlier there was a company in, I think it was Kansas, I'm not sure exactly, but all the employees got together and said no way, and the employer gave in. So, there's some bright spots which we could be somewhat optimistic. Now, the other thing behind this that's really annoying, of course, is that you had Joe Biden coming out and saying, we're going to have these vaccine mandates and people are going to get fired if they don't get vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. We're going to use OSHA to enforce the law. Well, there's been a big argument as to whether OSHA even has constitutional authority. I mean, I add parenthetically that Joe Biden's administration has been lawless in so many ways, and this is just one more of them. So what I'm going to call the ultimate embarrassment is that he draws a line in the sand, and then he has to come back and say, well, erase that. We're going to put this line in the sand. So now the decision to get vaccinated has been put off until December. Well, will that even hold up? Because the momentum of all these cases, I think, will build up to such a point where this will become a non-issue. We certainly hope so. Because right now, when I start to talk about Anne Dufresne and her little tangle with Governor Lamont, you can appreciate that we've still got some issues here. The other thing, of course, is as part of this, the fight over the vaccine has been how the news media is working with the medical boards to go after doctors and hospitals, threatening to take away their licenses. And that's despicable as well, and it's been going on. The part that should get us really upset with the vaccine pushback is the people who've been exempted. Now, early on, it was said that the Postal Service, with its 600,000 employees, had been exempted. But then they later corrected it and said, no, they had to get vaccinated. However, we don't have any retractions concerning the 6,000 some people who are associated with the White House staff who have been exempted from vaccination.
8 million Chinese.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes. So the 8 million Chinese, well, in America, there's only 8 million.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a nation of 300 million, not 3 billion. So the other part of the problem, so the 8 million Chinese, mostly students, have been exempted. Johnson & Johnson employees, Pfizer, Moderna, they've all been exempted. The White House, Congress and staff, all exempted. This is outrageous, okay? And who's kidding who? So I'm going to get now to talking about Ivermectin. So here on the one hand, you have them exempted from vaccination, but for the 100 to 200 who did get sick. Any guesses, Diane, at what they did? Yes, they did. They took Ivermectin. Okay, so they're telling other people they can't take it, it's not safe, no clinical trials have been done, but for themselves, of course, they're taking it. I think I'm going to do another segment later on about the remarkable variety of ways in which Congress has proven themselves to be just extraordinary hypocrites. Extraordinary. But we'll leave this one here for now. Okay, the next segment here is Ivermectin insanity. So I want to start with the nation of India, and in there the state of Uttar Pradesh. Population 200 million. It was about 3 weeks ago in the Hindustan Times came forth the announcement that their application of ivermectin for prophylaxis and treatment in the state of Uttar Pradesh had led them to the point where there were virtually no cases of COVID. And the number they used was 36 cases. Let's think about that. 36 cases out of 200 million people. I think it's under control. Just saying. Meantime, in July, Indonesia started a program where they're going to use ivermectin. And guess what they've announced? Their cases of COVID have dropped precipitously. Okay, what are we supposed to think? Costa Rica did it, Japan did it. Everybody who's using ivermectin is essentially reporting the same results. So It's like, how long does this have to go on before you realize this is what you do? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's right, the members of Congress, they already know that it's okay. And oh yeah, Hollywood celebrities too. So also, I mean, disturbing was this, I think it was some debate in some quasi courtroom in England somewhere, and you had this gentleman who wanted to speak about ivermectin. The opposing person said, no, shh, we can't talk about that, all right? Your lordship, please, we're not supposed to talk about that here. And of course, the judge had to agree with him. It's just amazing. So yeah, so moving on. All right, the next thing, this is a big one, okay? Okay, I want to remind you that this is Yankee Tea News, okay? We are the Tea Party channel. So if any of our Tea Party people get in trouble, we're out there to defend them. Anne Duvernay had the courage to stand up and make what is really a very obvious statement. There is a curious similarity on quite a few points between the conduct of Ned Lamont and someone we recall named Adolf Hitler. Now, it's interesting how this wasn't just where she just spouted off, all right? Instead, she has a series of what I consider well-researched and well-reasoned arguments as to why drawing a comparison between Lamont and Hitler is the right thing to do. Now, I need to add that our friends, our liberal friends, couldn't resist. They had to be a bunch of self-serving, knee-jerk liberals, a typical knee-jerk liberal. It's like, you guys, you just demonstrate you don't even think, you know? In any event, so, 1933, Hitler banned Jews and other non-Aryans from civil service, and Jewish workers were forced to retire, okay? There's a weird parallel there with forcing people who won't get the vaccine to do similar things. They have to quit. They can't work anymore. So let's just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing that's interesting, about the same time, I think it was May 10th, 1933, is when the book burning started, all right? Only in this case, instead of book burning, use the terms misinformation and censorship, okay? You're still trying to destroy, block, interfere with information that contradicts your, quote, official narrative. And the excuse that the Germans used, that these books were of un-German spirit. Does that sound right? Un-German spirit?
Degenerate art.
They were degenerate. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He knows he was there. We got to have a special
That was
section.
before my time,
Okay, but not too far before. All right.
10 years.
So this is disgusting. Okay? Really disgusting. She's making a clear point, and as usual, the Democrats, the liberals, they're ducking and dodging. All right? Then, in May 17th, 1934, a year later, Hitler banned Jews from having health insurance. What do you think? That's not too far off from telling people they can't go to a hospital if they're not vaccinated. That's not too far off from denying life-saving surgery for some people if they're not vaccinated. You know, there's a similar spirit here. So if we put up something that says unvaccinated equals Jews, it's not that inflammatory. It's not that far off. All you got to do is look at the damn history. So Anne says, Lamont says, we must inject our bodies to feed our family. That's, in effect, Lamont's message, okay? Then, as part of the knee-jerk liberal response, they always say, oh, when you say things like this about Hitler, well, you're ignoring the Holocaust. You're cheapening the Holocaust. The point we want to make here, okay, and we're going to have a meme on this. The basic idea is this. Hitler was in power for 12 years, okay? So he had 12 years in which to carry out each step of his program, okay, towards ultimate annihilation of the Jews. 12 years, okay? Gee whiz, Lamont has only been in power for 3, about, okay? So maybe Hitler just has a little bit of a head start on him. But the more important point is that there was a gradual evolution or erosion of public rights, of civil rights, okay? We are sensitive to that. We see that. The liberals, the Democrats, they don't want to see that, okay? They hear no evil, they see no evil, they speak no evil. But we got news for you. Evil comes in many shades of gray. Something to think about. Anyway, okay, so I'd like to move on to some other things here. So, there's a report of a possible new COVID outbreak in China. Now, some people are calling this fake news, which is possible. Again, because it's in China, you have to question the information. There's a lot to wonder, but it was a piece of information that was put out there. Now, another thing that's a little bit more difficult to talk about is here and there, people have been starting to talk about, quote, the next pandemic. Uh-oh. And what you have, I don't know if you want to call them conspiracy theorists or people on the fringe, but as a guy with a background in biology, I'd like to address this, okay? There are two viruses that are getting mentioned as part of this next pandemic. The first is the Marburg virus, which is a hemorrhagic virus. In other words, it causes internal bleeding, and it can be so bad that blood comes out your eyes. And the other is the Nipah virus, which is found in bats. So again, it's a case of a virus that can be transmitted from bats to humans. Both have extremely high fatality rates. But there's one other problem. They're both rare. I don't know about Nipah, but in the case of Marburg, there was a source that cited 16 cases a year. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how are you going to get from 16 cases a year to a full-blown pandemic? Well, the short answer is, if you have, I don't know, let me think, the Wuhan laboratory, there you go. What if they're experimenting with the Marburg virus? What if they're experimenting with the Nipah virus? Okay, and it's the same idea. They're doing all this genetic mixing and matching, messing around, excuse me, with the infectivity. This is insane. And look, I believe in science. I believe more in taking chances and going out there, but this is crossing a line that should not be crossed, in my humble opinion. Okay? So, we'll have more on this, but I just want to point out that these concerns may be a little overblown, but that's going to depend upon what other things happen. I'm just saying. Also, as an aside, you know, we're having a talk about a growing energy crisis around the country. In China, they've been having floods, and as a result, quite a few coal mines have been shut down, and their power plants are becoming threatened with not having enough coal in order to operate. So you'll see power outages, which is going to affect their ability to produce things and ship. Stay tuned. Now, the interesting thing about Hunter Biden's little setup with this art gallery in Los Angeles, guess who his biggest customers are? Russians. All the people buying his art, they're Russians. So what's that all about? Okay? So we'd like to dig on it a little bit more, but I'm just letting you know. And as a final note here, I want to talk once again about our friends up in Prospect, Connecticut. Okay? Sunday, they had another fabulous demonstration. Willem got a hero's welcome. It was great to see. I loved it. And yeah, I mean, they're just a spirited group. It's great. And they will keep on reminding the country Trump won. That's right. Thanks. See you later.